I get asked all the time, how do I get the rope in the tree? And that's a good question, because you see us climbing, me and a lot of the guys on YouTube, Instagram climbing. There's a lot of different methods to do it. Some are simple, some you have to do and do and do, and then you still setting the ropes is sometimes the most time-consuming thing to get set up, is trying to get your rope in the right place. I can throw a rope very well, however, I don't like to. I speed it up. This is what I use. I use this is a homemade air cannon, 1.5 inch PVC tube. This is a 1-inch sprinkler valve right here. This is the air charge canister. I had my buddy Adam Butler up in Granville, New York, make me this aluminum piece right here. You don't necessarily have to have that. It has a plastic cover that goes on it. You just got to thread it for a 1/4 inch pipe thread, and then screw an air blower on it. That's all you got to do it, because what happens is you charge this canister back here with air, and it's holding that diaphragm inside here with this air that's on this side of it. And then when you release this air right there, it's a little bit of pressure on it, it drops that diaphragm all at one time, and it lets the entire canister go. That's the beauty of it, and that's what you've got to be able to accomplish, is letting all this volume of air go at one time. If you let it go gradually, it won't work, because it's got to fly. A lot of people use the aft. The aft is a good machine too, good tool to use, but it has a butterfly valve on it. It's a little bit more difficult to be accurate. Some guys that use it a lot are very accurate with it and everything. But I shoot it off the ground. I'm gonna show you how I do it. The 1.5 inch tube holds a, I think it's a 14-ounce bag that I shoot out of, either 12 or 14. I use this right here to push the bag all the way down. And I'll show y'all here in just a second. This is what I charge it with. I use a Milwaukee M12. It's not a very big machine there. About $100 for the whole thing. And basically 1 PSI equals a foot. So if I want to go 60 foot, I set it on 60 PSI, let her rip. I'll show y'all. So you're gonna have to listen to my dogs yelping a little bit. This is at my house. I pruned that tree earlier this year, that hickory, and I worked this one over too. There's a dead limb up there I need to go up there and get. Now we're gonna do this gum, so I'm gonna kind of play and film today on doing. I'm gonna set a line up as high as I possibly can, and I'd love to canopy anchor if I can get the rope isolated up there. We'll see. I got me a spot up there picked out that I want to hit, a crotch. This one here would actually be pretty easy to throw the rope into on this one. A lot of them are not though. The beauty of this, like what I use shooting it, is I can get right directly under where I want to shoot and shoot straight up. Whereas when you throw, you got to throw a little bit different. So what I always do when starting out, I go ahead and flake my line out of the throw cube, because you got to remember you've had the throw cube fold up in a triangle, and so the line may be overlapped, and you're money ahead to go ahead and flake this, some of it, or a good bit of it out. See, like that right there, so you don't have a knot come flying out and mess you up. And I hardly ever take it all out, but I'll take a good bit of it out. Then I'll feed it back in there, and then that way you know that it's gonna come out pretty good, or should. Now the best thing on this dude, and I think too on most any time you're throwing or shooting, if you're using a big shot, is get the cube out in front of you, not where it's pulling out beside you, but get it out in front of you. So I usually set the cube out, 2 or 3 feet out in front of me. Let me get this line flaked in, and it's a 12-ounce bag. That's my favorite, what I shoot. It fits the 1.5 inch tube perfectly. I'm gonna show you. I like the Weaver. The bags are all a little bit different sizes and stuff, the shape of them. The Weaver bags fit best. Put them in metal ring down. And then I use the push, because it needs to seal all the way down. When you push it down, you need to push on a little bit to where it expands the bag, to where it grabs all the air pressure. So we got it in. Jill's coming home. Gonna hook the compressor to it. I just got a straighter valve, thread it into the side of the canister here. And like I said, 1 PSI equals about a foot. So we're gonna shoot about 50 on this one. The cool thing about the Milwaukee is you set it to what you want and then you just go and it automatically stops when it gets there. So we're gonna set it. I'm gonna check the frame and make sure everything looks good. So 50 PSI. Perfect. Hit it on first shot. Okay. Uh-oh. It's in some limbs up there. I'm right over the crotch where I want to be. You see that? I'm to the right of that crotch. Let me work it down into the crotch here, the line. I'm dropping the line. There's the weight right there. Let me work with it here and get it down. All right, I've got the weight right here. Now I can isolate that limb. I need to get through that crotch right there, that big one, which would be no problem. I can either throw it or I can shoot it. I'll just throw it over that and get over on the other side. And can possibly swing it. Let me see what I can do here. I might try to do it, swing it here and see. So that's it. Like I said, I had my buddy Adam make me this part. It was plastic, that same green. And he has a high CNC machine up there, so I sent it to him. And the machine will duplicate it very easily. Cut this off. It's still got 5 pounds of pressure on it. But anyhow, that way I didn't have to worry about it cracking or splitting on me. If you get those, take and build up with some JB Weld or some kind of epoxy or something after you thread it to where to strengthen it, where it threads in right there. With this one here, I don't have to worry about that no more. But so I got it fixed where you just screw it together on a piece of union right there for a pipe. Screw it together. It's real compact. I think the barrel on it's 28 inches. You could probably get away with shorter. I did get it isolated, so I'm on canopy anchor up there in that fork, in that union. And then we're gonna go up and we're gonna prune this tree because I got some plans here for the entrance right here. And we're gonna fix this up real nice. So most guys girth hitch their throw weight on their throw line there. And the way that I do it, I don't girth hitch it on there because sometimes it's tricky to get undone. This is the way I do it right here. And I shoot it out of the cannon. And I never have any trouble with it. When you just pull that right there, it comes undone. That's all it is to it. All it is just a simple, I just stick it through, go around it, and then catch it right there where it catches a loop on it, to where the tag stays out, and it's like that. Now, if you're throwing double, like if you stick the line through here and you're swinging it like this, you need to make sure that you keep this right here opposite where this tag is right there. Either keep that tag straight up, because if that tag end is sticking out like this, when this line pulls through, it can actually grab it and pull your knot out, and your way to go flying, you have to go find it, you know. But that's all I do. I just do it like that and just pull it and it comes right off, rather than having to deal with a girth hitch knot on it. Like I said, I just do it like this, wrap around it. You can wrap it around it twice, put it back through, pull it, it's there. It ain't going nowhere. I didn't know this video was gonna turn into all this. I was just gonna show how I shot the rope up. We'll go ahead and make an entire video. So I just pulled this off. The way I do my climbing line on it, there's a bunch of different ways you can attach it. And just like everything else, you have to figure out what works best for you. The way I used to do it like this right here, just put an overhand choke in it like that, to where it loops and put it on there and just choke the rope. And then I used to put some half hitches in it to where it's like this, to where it catches it there, and probably another one up at the top up there like this. A lot of guys do it like that right there. Works very well. I have my best luck with me doing it is not like this, because a lot of times I end up with this end hanging right there on stuff. So my favorite way to do it is just choke it right there or on back like that, where it's laying, where it's hanging like this. And a lot of times whenever you pull it, you can, if you're in a real tight crotch, you can actually get it to hop and flip over it. And that's just my preference. Like I said, different strokes for different folks. A lot of different ways to do it. You just have to figure out what works best for you. Now just pull the rope over. Let's grab it. Just pull it up, pull it out of the rope bag. All right, we're over the crotch. Just pull it all the way down. That's a static rope. There, I like this static. I think one a lot of guys are climbing on right now is a newer rope. Just come out. It's been out for a little while. I believe it's the Blue Moon. A lot of people are using it. I always pull a little slack down so that when you, if you do let go of it, your rope don't take back off up the tree and you lose what you got. So I just feed the pull line back in the throw cube because we're done with it now. Get it put back in, flake it. Back in. Stuff's like Velcro, hangs on everything. I use the, this is the Tuffleburger. I like Tuffleburger stuff, it's good stuff. Throw line. I think it's 1.8 millimeter, I believe. It works very well. I got several cues that if you're wanting to get into climbing, you need to at least 2 throw cues with 4 weights. I would recommend, I think I've got 4, because I have had, you know, multiple weights hung at one time, and it's gonna happen. I don't care how good you are, it's gonna happen. The way throw cues work, they're pretty slick. Just spin them down like this, and then catch them on the loop side. Fold it up, it goes in a triangle like this, and bam, there you go. So you got a couple of options to anchor. You got a basal anchor, and then you got a canopy anchor. The basal anchor, if you go up and come back down, wrap the rope around the tree, anchor on the base. I weigh 170 pounds. The rope goes up over a crotch or a limb, comes back down. So when I'm basal anchored and I get on this rope, on this side of this rope to climb, there's 170 pounds pulling on this side, and then there's also 170 pounds pulling on the other side. So you got 340 pounds, but that's not even counting my saw, my belt, all that. I'm way over 200 pounds. So then all of a sudden you're 400 pounds pulling on that rope. When you canopy anchor, you're choking up at the top of the tree. There's several different ways to canopy anchor. I do it like this with a quickie and an alpine butterfly. So when you canopy anchor up there in the top, 170, there's only 170 pulling down on it, plus the weight of the belt and the saw and everything. So I got my ends right here. I can climb on either side of it. This is the end I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull it down just a little bit. So I'll put an alpine butterfly right here. And this. Send it all down. It looks good. So there's your alpine butterfly. The thing about the quickie, you can actually take this line and you stick it in right there, but you got to feed it in from the end. If you're canopy anchoring while you're in the canopy, this allows you to stick it in mid-line. So you just take it, put it in your alpine butterfly like that. So there you go. Now I'm just gonna pull this rope up. This will be the slide that I climb on. And then I can pull this back down from down here. So we're gonna pull it all the way up. All right, we're there. Like I said, this is the side that we're gonna climb on. I wanna pull it down. All I do is grab this and pull it right back down. I'm holding on this in the rope because I do not want it to take off because I got a good point, good tying point up there. I don't want to lose it. See, there it is right there. It's back down. So if you're working spars, working them down, this is an easy way to do it right here to make it retrievable. All right, so we're there. Let me get my stuff on. So this is the belt that I use, or saddle that I use. This is a Basal Sequoia. Very heavy with everything on it. I said a while ago 30 pounds, probably more weight than that I'd be willing to bet. It's a lot of weight. I have 2 lanyards on it. I have the Hip Star lanyard, which is just a regular lanyard, and I have a art positioner on it there, and then I have a steel core lanyard from US Rigging. It's great for taking trees completely down, doing spar work, because you're not going to cut it. So I run both lanyards on the same thing, and the bad thing about it is they're getting overlapped and everything, which is just takes a little bit more time. No big deal, but that's the problem with running 2 of them. I'll take the steel core one off because I'm not going to need it up there. So if I want to take it off, I just do that right there and it's off. I've actually got I may take and cut this off and put a pencil that I got that I can install on that made loop right there. It's lighter than this one, a good bit lighter, and not near as bulky as this one is right there. But a good lanyard. I actually made it where it'll swivel there too, because with this right here, especially like getting on the crane ball and stuff, sometimes they get in a bind with you. I'm not gonna take that one up this time. This right here, this Hip Star, I think it's 30 foot. This thing is sweet, love it. It's good, it's soft, it's real flexible. Works really good positioning. So I'll be climbing on the Rope Runner Pro. Love the Rope Runner Pro. Very good device. Get all my stuff off. This is my knee ascender. I'm fixing to start making my own knee ascenders. These things are usually about 160, 170 bucks. And I got to thinking about it and I thought, man, I can make my own and make them up, because I would like to teach others how to climb too. But the problem with it is having all the gear, having multiple pieces of gear like saddles. I mean, saddles, you know, 500-600 bucks a piece. These 200 bucks, you know, you get 4 people and you do the math on it, adds up to a lot of money. And I can make these up myself, like using different things like crowels and stuff like that for cinders. And you can get the bungee stuff. I've got a whole bunch of it in the house in there, but and not have to spend what, and also have something that's more user friendly. This is not really like where you can fold it up and make it compact. So the length of this is this. This is a it's a Saka from Climbing Innovations right there. It's what it is. But so anyhow, let me get everything rigged up and we'll go up. So it takes a few minutes to put all this, get all this stuff on. It's not like you can just decide, hey, I'm gonna go climb and shoot up a tree real quick. It takes a little bit of time to kind of get it all situated. And you gotta have so much stuff on your belt too, at least I do, because you never know what you might need up there in the tree or something. I like to be redundant too. I like to have another device that I can come down on in case I need it, you know, or something like that. So just add, because if you're up there and you need it, you ain't got it, you're screwed. Let's go put this on the rope. So I got a zigzag and I've got a chicane to go with it, and actually got it on it right now. The only thing I don't like, the zigzag's a good tool. The one thing I don't like about it is just, you know, not being able to install it midline and what it takes to get it situated. See, this is on there, it's ready to go. But of course, with this thing here, you have to adjust the tension on it, which as long as you don't change ropes or you're using the same size rope, it works you don't have to worry about it. Just adjust it once and it's good to go. But man, I love the way it works here. So now I'm ready to hop on it right there and get on it. So we're almost ready to go up. I like the shoulder straps, and here's why. As long as you're weighted on the rope, you're good. It doesn't really bother you too bad. But if you're moving around a lot in the canopy and you've got a saw, you got a heavy saw or even a battery saw on you, or top handle saw like a 200 201 or T540 Husqvarna, or either way, and you unweight yourself off the rope, tries to pull your saddle down. But with the shoulder straps, your saddle won't come down, it stays on it. So I run 2 bridges, a lot of guys do. I run a Hydra, Rock Exotica Hydra. It's got a swivel on it, got 3 places to tie in, and I've got another bridge right there for putting say an ID or anything like that on it that I want to do. All right, we're ready. All right, we're up in the tree now. We're probably right around 40 foot high, I guess, something like that. Normally I always take my glasses off and leave them down because you get to sweating and it drifts on the glass, but I forgot to take them off this time. But we're gonna do just a really good prune on this tree, weight reduction. Dude, there's a snake skin over here in this tree behind me. Y'all check this out. Let me undo this camera right quick. You can see it. Can you see it right there? There's a squirrel nest straight up there, and I imagine that snake is probably wanting to get to Mr. Squirrel for lunch or something. But so here's the Roadrunner Pro. I don't have it weighted very much. It's just got a little bit of weight on it. I'm on my lanyard mainly is what I'm on, where I can move around a little bit. The higher that you can tie in a tree, the more movement laterally that you can do. And on these trees like this, it's good every now and then to get some weight out of them, because it makes them more aerodynamic where the wind goes through them, and it just helps the tree because they get too much foliage, too much weight, and man, you can take, you know, 25% of the limbs out of it or so, something like that, or even just 10%, and you can help the tree quite a lot. I'm not on spikes because I don't want to spur this tree. Even though it is a sweet gum, I like the tree. It's perfect kind of a pass through coming up my driveway. So we're gonna knock some of these limbs out of it here and get some of them down and do some weight. So we're gonna get just a few of these small limbs right here. Limb over here. It's kind of hung. If I can get to. Let's see. He's recording. What's it gonna get? This one right here. I'll cut them stubs out just a second. Just used the stub right there and shaved on it to make me a clamp to hold the camera there. Trying to get y'all some August Honecky shots. That's what we're trying to do. Let's see here. If I can get over there. A little bit too close to my tiny part to swing. Standing all on my root too. Good, good. Put my lanyard on. That'll help. Get this one I'm standing on. grabbed it. We're gonna cut this one and this one right here, and the whole limb that this one is attached to. Also, I'm gonna move my lanyard. Get better situated there. It's all about positioning, man. That's the hardest thing to figure out in relation to where your ropes are, where you need to be. And I still ain't got it figured out where I want to be yet. Move back over here. That'll give me a better angle over here now. Cut the stuff. So if you want to work out, get on the rope. You'll get your cardio in, that's for sure. Because it'll get you. You see that limb right there is twisted and broken, it's dead, hanging down right over the drive. See, I started way over there. Now I'm over here in this other fort. We're gonna get these limbs right here. We're gonna trim them out, get them going. That'll help it. Figure out where I'm gonna put the camera at. Root might be Nell's way. So I'm back down on the ground. I'll go walk over here in the shade and I'll show you what kind of mess. Get this negative center out of my way. What kind of mess. And look at that. So now I'm gonna pan the camera up where you can see what the tree looks like. That's one of my bow targets over there. All right, look how much better that tree looks now. Let's go out here. All right, so if I would have done that one back early this spring when I did these two over here, man, they would match, which this next spring they will. But I got plans for right here. It's gonna be pretty cool whenever I do it. But like I said, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull the chipper out and get on the mini, and just because my mulch pile's right over there, I'm just gonna set it and blast it and just feed it right into it real quick and get it sucked up. That's the neat thing about it. But again, well, hang on, I'll tell you. Here, I was actually up there longer than I thought because I had my watch set to right now is about 49 minutes is what it's showing on the clock, and I've been down for about 3 minutes. But the bad thing about it is though, is messing with this camera. A lot of y'all watch August Hunnicky and watch him do tree work. That's what he does on YouTube. And I'm gonna tell you, August does not get the credit that he deserves for the camera views that he does, because there's times that, and I know this, and I've never talked to him, I know he probably climbs 3 times what he needs to sometimes, just fooling with cameras, man. Because you place it like the side shots he gets and everything, he's got to go out there and set that camera and then go make his cuts and then go back and get it. And just tons of that stuff like that, man. And dude, you talking about some work. You already up there straining your guts out on a root. That tree looks really nice now. But, and he's a little bit older than I am. I'll be 50 this next year. And I may be it may take me a little bit more time to do things and stuff like that, but I'm still happy that I can do stuff like this, can go up a rope and work a tree like that. Like I said, I started off, you can see my cuts all the way over here on the left, on that limb that goes up as far to the left. Started over there and worked my way back and got over there on that fork over there and went all the way up. Like I said, this is gonna be a focal point when the people come on the property for the saw class. I got something else that's gonna go right here. It's gonna be really sweet. So yeah, man. Alright, I just picked all this stuff up and got over by the chipper. I got the chipper cranked up. We got the clutch engaged on it. So rope's all the way up there. Still, if you're working with somebody and they got a chipper and you're on the ground, always be mindful of where the climber's ropes are at. You do not want to suck one up in the chipper. So I'm going to pull this rope down. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm pulling the anchor down from up there. You can see it coming down. I got one redirect where I went over that limb, so I'm going to have to pull it. It's going to get tough to pull right there because of that redirect, but I'll be able to pull it over. I use both hands. You can see the quickie right there and the canopy anchor coming down. We're going to adjust the chute here a little bit, get it in because I want to blast it into that pile up there. This is where I want it to go. All I gotta do is run her up to speed. All you gotta do is hold that button down. She's gone. just gone. This chipper had that it don't, that I would really be nice if it had a second axle up under it, but they don't put a second axle under the 15. You got to go up to the 18 to get it. But the chipper's so heavy, it comes in a little over 8,000 pounds, and it needs a second axle up under it, because even right here in my yard's hard, but just that little bit of running kind of set itself in the ground just a little bit, not bad. But if there's a wet spot, you will find it with this dude here, because it is a chunk, serious chunk. But I'm very happy with it though overall. It's done a fantastic job for me since I've had it. I didn't intend on this video to be this elaborate. I was just going to show the rope launcher, because I get asked a lot about it, about how I get the rope up in a tree. And so I just kind of got rolling on it, and I was in that frame of mind, and I thought, well, I'll just do an entire video and run through it. So that should have answered a lot of questions. And like I said at the very first video, sometimes that's the most time spent, is trying to set the rope in the right place, your throw line in the right place to get it to where you can pull your climbing line up and get it situated. The cool thing, like working with a crane or something, for the most part, you don't really have to do that. You can get on the crane ball and he can set you in the tree where you need to be just right. But even then, sometimes with a crane, you're still going to end up climbing, kind of starting out to cut, because there may be some stuff that you can cut and bomb. And that's what I did the other day when we were working with the crane last week. I started off on a rope, shot a rope up and climbed it and got all the way up in the tree. And then he took me and set me around all in the tree as a day when we were working, because I was actually having to, he was sitting me on the end of the limbs and I was attaching them to the crane, and then I would have to rappel back to the main trunk of the tree and you know, make the cuts. Whereas some cranes, they use two guys. They'll put one guy in the tree, he'll be a cut man. The other guy will be attaching limbs from the ball, and when he gets it attached, he'll just zing to the ground right quick, go to the ground, and then when they make the lift and set the limb down on the ground, he'll jump back on the ball again and take back off and get back up there. So there's a million different ways to do this stuff. This is kind of what kind of works best for me right now, and it's an ever evolving process too. It's always changing. Different things come up, and you figure out different ways, different gear, different techniques, and you'll be up there doing something, struggling, all of a sudden a light bulb will go off in your mind. You think, well, heck, I do it like this. And watching the videos, watching like August and Educated Climber, a lot of other guys, Guilty Trees, and a lot of them that climb, that do it, Strider. Just very helpful to watch all of them and go back and forth between watching what they do, because you can pick up some crazy killer tricks. And then also too, if you got somebody you can go work with a little bit, like I've got Johnny and them over there in Atlanta, and go over there and work with them, and just, that's some of the best time you can spend, is working with somebody else, because you're not making any money. You're not technically making money then, but it can help you to make money later. That's the way you kind of got to look at it there. You know what I mean? But, if you got questions, I'll try to answer them, and people ask them. But that's kind of it right there. If you're interested to talk about the saw classes, 2 of them coming up, one in November. They're right down below in the description. Email me. I'll send you an outline back to them, and we can get together on that. Good time. The first one, they're both almost full right now. So, all right, I'm going to cut this thing off. We'll catch y'all later. Later, taters.